Hello, curious minds. Welcome to ProjexCellence ProDigy, your ultimate resource for all things project management. I'm Govind, a PMP certified professional. And today's episode is all about project communication management. It is often said that 90% of a project manager's time is spent managing communication. This highlights how critical communication is to project success. We will dive into what project communication management is, its key processes, and the ITTOs, inputs, tools and techniques, outputs needed to carry out these processes effectively. Let's get started. Project communication management ensures that project information is accurately generated, shared, stored, and tracked so stakeholders receive timely and relevant updates. Effective communication is crucial for project success as it keeps everyone informed, minimizes confusion, and supports better decision making. There are total 3 processes in project communication management. First process is under planning process group. Second process is under executing process group. And third process is under monitoring and controlling process group. First process is plan communication management. In this process, we develop an appropriate approach and plan for project communication activities based on the information needs of each stakeholder and what kind of organizational assets, communication medium we have and what is the need of the project. Second process is manage communications. This process is under execution, means whatever we have planned, we need to execute here. Manage communication ensures the timely and proper collection, creation, distribution, storage, and retrieval of project information. In this process, we select the right communication technologies, methods, and techniques. The last process is monitor communications. This process ensures that the information needs of the project and its stakeholders are met. This process is carried out throughout the project. Let's discuss each process in detail with inputs, tools and techniques and output. We will take one project for the reference, installation and commissioning of 20 megawatt solar power plant, and will try to relate the processes in its context. First process is plan communication management. Inputs here are project charter. This document will contain key stakeholders and may include their roles and responsibilities. It is essential for understanding who needs communication and their expectations. For example, in our solar power plant project, project charter will mention the key stakeholders like government agencies, contractors, and suppliers. Each will have different communication requirement. After getting all these details from project charter, we can develop tailored communication plan for each one of them. Next input is project management plan. This plan includes multiple components and subsidiary plans that guide the communication, like resource management plan. It will specify how team resources will be categorized, managed and allocated, which may affect the communication need. For example, the resource management plan in our solar power plant project will specify how the team members like engineers and contractors, they will communicate among each other during the construction and installation phase. Stakeholder engagement plan will tell us the strategies to engage the stakeholders effectively, often through the communication. Stakeholder engagement plan will ensure regular updates to the government and investors through structured report. Project documents. Key documents that help in planning communication are requirement documentation and stakeholder register. Requirement documentation contains the project needs, including the stakeholder communication, and the stakeholder register will identify the stakeholders and their communication preferences. For example, in our project, the stakeholder register may list the suppliers, regulatory bodies, and local communities, each with their own communication preferences, such as weekly emails or monthly meetings. Enterprise environmental factors, EEF. These are external factors that influence communication planning, like organizational culture, which defines how communication is typically handled within the organization. What established communication channel are in use, like such as emails, project management software, or video conferencing. Geographical distribution. If team is sitting remotely, we need to address the challenges of communicating with team across different locations. Organizational process assets, OPAs. These assets provide guidelines and resources to assist in communication planning. Mostly, organization has standardized guidelines for information exchange, which specifies the procedures for sharing information and documentation. Historical information and lessons learned will provide insights from past projects to guide future communication planning. Come to the tools and techniques. Expert judgment. We involve consulting experts who understand the organization's structure, communication policies, security protocols, and project needs. Communication requirements analysis means we need to identify what information is needed by whom and in what format. For example, the engineering team needs detailed design drawing weekly. The procurement team needs delivery status report. The local government needs environmental compliance updates. Communication technology means selecting the right tools based on urgency, availability, and ease of use. For example, if we need urgent updates, so short messaging platforms like WhatsApp are very effective for instant issue resolution. Regular reports can be sent through emails and cloud-based dashboard for progress tracking. Other tool is video conferencing in various platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams. These all are very popular nowadays. Communication models. It defines how messages are sent and received to avoid misunderstandings. This could be of two types: basic model in which sender and receiver are involved. For example, the site engineer reports a faulty inverter to the project manager. Another one is interactive model. It adds another component to sender and receiver, which is feedback. The project manager asks for additional details and provides corrective actions, ensuring feedback is received. Communication methods. Effective communication ensures smooth coordination among stakeholders, like interactive communication. So it's a real-time two-way communication, like meetings, phone calls, instant messaging, and video conferencing. Daily team briefings to coordinate the task. Push communication. Information sent directly to stakeholders through emails, reports, memos, newsletters without guaranteeing receipt of understanding, like sending weekly progress report to the stakeholders. It's a push communication. Pull communication. Stakeholders access information on demand via portals, intranet, knowledge repositories, and databases. So uploading design documents on a shared portal for engineers to access when needed is the pull communication. Interpersonal and team skills. It helps the project manager adapt communication based on different personalities and cultures. For example, if you have local contractor in your project, so he will prefer verbal updates, while for a big MNC supplier, detailed written report will be required. Data representation. For this, we use stakeholder engagement matrix, which shows the current and desired state of each stakeholder, weighing them in scale of unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, leading. So it helps track how engaged each stakeholder is and what communication improvements are needed. Meetings. Discuss and finalize communication strategies either face to face or virtual. For example, weekly project status meetings with the installation team, suppliers, and project sponsors to ensure alignment on key milestones. Outputs. The output of this process is communication management plan, which ensures clear, structured, and effective communication throughout the project. It will include the detailed information like stakeholder communication needs, which identifies who needs what information, in what format, and when. Information details like language, content, and confidentiality levels. What will be the escalation process? How urgent issues will be addressed? Communication frequency and responsibility will be outlined. Who shares updates, how often, and response expectations. Communication methods will specify tools like emails, meetings, or reports. Resource allocation, budgets, time, and funds for communication activities. Next output is project management plan updates. So all the subsidiary plan of project management plan like stakeholder engagement plan will be updated to align stakeholder strategies with communication strategies. Other subsidiary plan like risk management plan will be updated as ineffective communication can be a project risk. Project document updates. So project schedule may be required to update to include the communication activities like progress meeting. Stakeholder register may need to be updated for changing communication needs of stakeholders. Next process is manage communication. Effective communication management in a project depends on various inputs that ensure clear, timely, and structured information flow. The first input is project management plan and its component like resource management plan, which defines communication needs for team coordination and physical resources. Communication management plan. This is the output of previous process, plan communication management we just discussed. It outlines how project communication is structured, monitored, and controlled. Stakeholder engagement plan, which specifies communication strategies to engage the stakeholders. Project documents. Various project documents are referred as an input, like change log, which tracks and informs stakeholders about approved or rejected changes. Issue logs communicates ongoing issues and resolutions. Lessons learned register, which helps improve communication based on the past experience. Quality reports, it shares quality related concerns and corrective actions. Risk report, which informs stakeholders about project risk and risk mitigation plans. Stakeholder register, which identifies who needs what type of information. Work performance report, it provides the status updates and performance metrics like progress reports, earned value analysis, and keep stakeholders informed. EEFs, factors like company culture, communication tools, policies, and geographic distribution, it will influence the communication strategies. Organizational process assets, corporate policies, past project lessons, and standardized guidelines will help streamline the communication. Come to the tools and techniques. Communication technology. We can use emails, video calls, project dashboards, and messaging apps based on team location, data confidentiality, and company culture. Communication methods. It includes written, verbal, and visual communication. Written like reports, emails, verbal like meetings or calls, and visual like presentations and dashboards. We use communication skills like active listening, which ensure clear understanding in discussions, feedback, which helps improve communication clarity and effectiveness, non-verbal cues like body language, tone, and expressions, which impact the message delivery, presentations, which are used to convey key updates and decisions. PMIS, Project Management Information System. So various tools like dashboards, email, document sharing platforms are used to store and distribute the information. For example, the site team updates the installation progress in a project management tool, which automatically generates the report for stakeholders. Project reporting. It generates progress reports, dashboards, and presentations tailored to different stakeholder needs. For example, site engineers receive daily task updates while investors receive monthly milestone reports. Interpersonal and team skills like meeting management, which ensures meetings are efficient and goal oriented. Conflict resolution, which addresses team disagreements to keep the work on track. Cultural awareness and networking, which helps in engaging diverse stakeholders. Outputs, project communications, which includes reports, presentations, and updates on performance, schedule, cost, and deliverables. For example, a weekly progress report on solar panel installation and cost updates is shared with investors and senior management. Project management plan updates. Communication management plan will be updated if communication strategy changes. Stakeholder engagement plan will be adjusted based on the stakeholder feedback. For example, if suppose in our project local authorities request additional environmental impact updates, so the communication plan is revised to include monthly reports. Project documents updates. So various project documents will be updated. For example, issue log will record the communication challenges and resolutions faced during this process. Lessons learned register will capture what worked and what didn't in communication process. Project schedule will update the meeting dates and reporting timelines. Risk register will add the risk related to miscommunication or delays in information sharing. Stakeholder register will be updated details on stakeholder communication preferences. OPA updates, it will include meeting minutes, emails, reports, and presentations for future reference. For example, documentation of challenges in coordinating the remote teams will help improve the communication planning for the future projects. The last process is monitor communication. The inputs again the project management plan, the subsidiary resource management plan, which will define roles and responsibilities. Communication management plan, which will specify how information is shared. Stakeholder engagement plan, which will details how to engage the stakeholders. Another input, project documents. So various project documents will be referred for the monitor communication process like issue logs, which will track communication problems and resolutions. Lessons learned register will help improve future communication based on the past experiences. Project communications, which records messages and reports sent. Work performance data, another input, which records the number and types of communications shared. Enterprises environmental factors, which includes company cultures, existing communication tools, local global trends, and project location. OPAs, organizational process assets, policies, security guidelines, historical data, and lessons learned from past projects. Come to the tools and techniques. Expert judgment. We involves specialists in project communication, media handling, and virtual collaboration. Project management information system, which is a digital system to store, track, and share the project updates. Data representation. We use the tool like stakeholder engagement metrics to track the communication effectiveness. Interpersonal and team skills. It helps identify misunderstandings or conflicts. Outputs, work performance information. It evaluates if communication is working as planned and includes feedback from stakeholders. For example, a survey reveals that local authorities need clearer reports on grid connection progress, so which will prompt a formal change. Change requests, adjustments to communication plans if issues arise. If, let's say, suppliers frequently miss update emails, a change request may introduce a dedicated project dashboard for real-time tracking. Project management plan updates. So updates to the communication management plan for better messaging. Updates to the stakeholder engagement plan to reflect new needs. For example, after investors request monthly instead of quarterly reports, the plan is updated to meet their expectations. Project document updates like issue log, which tracks communication issues and resolutions. Lessons learned register, which documents what worked well and what didn't. Stakeholder register will update the stakeholder needs and engagement details. For example, if miscommunication with the solar panel supplier caused delivery delays, so this will be recorded and future procurement updates are improved. So that's all for now. We have reached the end of this episode and we have successfully covered another milestone in our project management journey, focusing on project communication management. Before we wrap up, I'd like to kindly ask for your support. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement truly means a lot to me. Namaste, goodbye, Sampai Jumpa.